Hi, it's Beth. I'm going to share a story with you guys, something that happened to my husband and I last weekend, and then I'm going to do some teaching off of that first comment that I got from the True Meaning of the Star of David, the comment that said, "You crazy." First, I want to tell you guys what happened last weekend. So, my Aunt Gretchen came and watched the kids for us so my husband and I could spend the night in Minneapolis. We've had this planned out for probably a month now. But every time that I went online to look up the hotels, nothing felt right to book. So I just figured, well, I'll just book it the night that we go, right? So here we're driving up to the cities, and the hotel that I picked was, tonight only special on Priceline.com. So we get into the hotel, and it's this fancy, ritzy hotel, right? For a really good deal. There's all these kids running around. But it's the Irish dance teams. And wouldn't you know that the name on the back of their jackets and all of their bags, it said Trinity Dance Academy. And I laughed my little butt off. Because it was so funny, because here the Holy Spirit had given me the homework to understand the Trinity better, and that's how I came up with the understanding of the True Meaning of the Star of David. And here, like, all these girls and their moms and everybody have the Trinity written all over their stuff. I just thought that was so cool. And we went next door to the convention center and watched them dance on on Saturday before we came home. So I thought that was really, really fun. And I've always wanted to see the Irish dancers. I've got some Irish in me. So that was really fun. It was great to be able to do that spontaneous fun there, to go see the girls and the little boys dance. So yeah, that was cool. And I got this really cool Trinity bracelet. Isn't that awesome? It's got charms on it and everything. Yeah, so what I want to do is some teaching here. So the comment, "You crazy." Honestly, I take that as a compliment because I totally know that I'm crazy, but I embrace my craziness. Like, I find complete joy in that, because I'm being my unique self. I'm embracing truly who I am, and I know these things sound crazy, but it's because it's new information, because we're not used to it. So the craziness is cool. It tells me I'm doing a good job at what I'm supposed to be doing, and it just reminds me how freaking awesome I am. So now, if I would have had a negative reaction to that, if that would have completely crushed me, which it has, like a year and a half ago, that would have crushed me. Absolutely, because from personal experience, that's exactly what it did. Now, I've written about it in A New Sensation, because that's what Jesus and I talked about. So I also have the benefit of being able to run these things past him when all this was happening. So what I wanted to share with you guys is, when you have an emotional reaction to something, there's a couple things that you can do. Now, you don't have to actually do any of this. No one has to do anything if you don't want to. But the really neat thing about this is that once you watch this, and you're storing all that information. So even though you're thinking that, that's not for you right now, you're still going to keep that on the back burner. So if and when the day comes that you do want to use this information, you're going to remember that, and then you're going to put that to use. So this is really very cool. So the first thing when you have an emotional reaction to something is you want to identify that feeling. Whether it be jealousy, that's a really good one, fear, sadness, anger, any kind of emotional reaction that comes from anywhere, anybody, anything. That's your sign. Your emotional body is there for a reason. It's your GPS. So that's your sign that you have information coming in. It's like that big red alert. Information coming in, okay? So you want to stop and identify that feeling. Now, if something makes you really sad or angry, whatever, don't be afraid to go into those feelings. It's totally okay to let it all out, okay? Many, many times I have sat on my steps bawling my ass off because all that emotion is energy, and it's all building up because you've been using it. It's been serving a purpose for you, and when you stop and you identify those feelings, you're beginning to your journey of healing for that. So you're becoming aware of it, and you want to be able to heal that. So feel those emotions, let that all out. But the trick is to not dive so deep into it. You really want to, as you're crying and everything, you want to be able to say, okay, what is the sadness trying to show me? You want to ask your questions. This is the second step, is to ask questions. Your two questions that are always my go-to questions are, what is this trying to show me, and what do I need to know about this? Those are my two main questions that I always ask. And so when you ask those questions, you're asking your soul and your higher self to send you that information now. I'm aware, I've got information coming, please send that to me. Thank you. Okay, thank you. That's gratitude is a wonderful place to be in. So when you're asked those questions, your soul and your higher self are going to send that information to you. Now the the key is to, when you're looking for understanding of self, this is what you're doing. The key is to remain open to how those answers come. Okay, they can come in a variety of different ways. When someone had called me crazy, my moment my information came through the movie, the G.I. Joe movie that my husband brought home that night. I had been bawling the whole entire day, had gone outside and walked around the yard, taking time for myself, and he brought home that movie that night. Somewhere within that movie, I became empowered, and I was like, if they think I'm crazy now, oh, they ain't even seen nothing yet. And this was a year and a half ago, before all this stuff with Mary and the Holy Spirit and the Star of David even happened. So it's exciting to see, well, like, what kind of craziness is still on its way, right? So, okay, so the second thing was to ask. So first is identify the feelings that you're having. Okay, stop, identify them. What is this trying to show me? What do I need to know about this? Third is very important, and it's key to healing, because if you're not going to be able to take the time to focus in on yourself, you're not going to be able to complete that healing. Because once the healing is complete, when someone says something to you, or whatever had triggered that emotion in the first place, you won't have that same reaction to it. You're going to transform that energy. So if someone like the craziness, so if someone calls me crazy now, I find joy in that instead of the sadness. So I've really become empowered, and that's my strength from that. That's what's going to happen when you're healing these things. You won't have the same angry action that you did before. It's going to be complete understanding for yourself. And the cool thing about this is that when you heal yourself, you're not only healing yourself, you're part of that oneness, so you're also helping to heal the collective consciousness. Okay, that's really neat. So when people say they want to help people, the best way you can help people is to help yourself, because we're all in this together and we're all doing our parts. So the third thing is want to focus in on yourself. So take that time to be by yourself. Even if it's 30 minutes. It's really removing the distractions and the excuses that you have for not doing this, saying I don't have time to do this, or saying that you have any other kind of excuses that you're going to come up with. You need to be able to make time for yourself. Sit on your steps and cry. Go for a walk. If you have kids, use the time where they're preoccupied or taking naps to just take that time to yourself. A lot of the time, I spend a lot of time in the shower, and that's where a lot of my understanding comes through, because you're just relaxed. That's the key about it. What you're wanting to do is to reconnect back to source, so that you can get that information. So first is identify the feelings. Second is ask, what do I need to know about this? What is this trying to show me? And third is to focus in on yourself and make time for yourself. And those are the three elements that are key to a healing. So whenever anybody, that emotional reaction, it's your heads up. You got information coming in. Do you want to take a look at it? And you don't have to if you don't want to. It's perfectly okay. But if you want to be able to transform that energy into, empowerment and strength, and you don't want to, anytime you want to get rid of something, like any kind of bad feelings or whatever, that's the perfect time to take a look at that. So when those feelings and stuff come up, embrace them and really see what it is to understand for yourself. So thank you for the compliment. I love it. Anybody's reaction to any of this is completely fine with me. It's your own, so it's okay. Thank you.